Hello. Don't mind the fact that I have headphones on. I've been listening to stuff and I'm too lazy to take them off. But I thought I'd do a quick check-in just to show kind of where things are. Nothing really fancy is happening right now. It's just 1 a.m. My room's a mess a little bit. It's not terrible. That's not bad. There's a walkway at least. And I vacuumed a couple days ago, so it's not terrible, but I do have a new rabbit, and Cosmo just got his neuter surgery, and I think my last YouTube video was from before then, so, just a quick check-in, but right now I'm chilling in here, and here she is. I just spruced up her cage. I didn't do a full clean. In case you're wondering about all this random crap around it, it's because she found out she could shove her cage, and then move the edge over there away, which makes it so she can jump up and get a grip on the side. So what I've had to do is kind of jerry-rig her cage. I'm so glad this is temporary, guys. So glad. Okay, let me just put that back in place. So yeah, basically that pillow blocks it off so she can't... She'll like jump, get some leverage on that piece of cardboard there, then jump up and jump over the white cage. So that pillow there keeps her from doing that. And then I've got that lid there and some cardboard to make it so she can't just shove the cage. It's a little bit too tight, and so she can't push the cage away. I have these really heavy things. Gotta move this one back. These really heavy things in the way to make it so she can't just push the cage away because she's not strong enough to do that in any of these directions. So yeah, that's what we have to do. She's got her water bottle right there. Thankfully, she's good at using her water bottle. She's got probably about a day's amount left in there. I've got her little food dish. I use that one to put like fruits and veggies in when I give it to her because at this point she's good with them. I've given her quite a few different kinds and she seems to be doing well. She really likes pomegranates. Actually, I was eating a pomegranate and she stole one of the arils, so found that out. She can't have a lot, but I think that might be a favorite sneaky treat of hers. I originally had that in there, but she used it to get out of the cage, impressively enough. So now she just has that, but she doesn't really seem to care. She didn't really even use that while she was out in there. Most of the time when she's in here, she just like sits on top of that board or on that pillow, so yeah, it seems to work for her pretty well though. And she has great potty manners. She hasn't really gone anywhere but her litter box except for leaving maybe a couple stray poos. But she's very sweet. Yeah, aren't you sweet? Yeah. She does actually really enjoy cuddles. The first couple days she was a bit nervous about it, which makes sense because, new person, new home. But now she's like, oh yes, give me the love. And she's pretty accepting of being picked up and turned around to different areas. One thing I noticed is she does have some rough spots on her ears. She's going to the vet in a couple weeks. It's nothing urgent, and she's separate from Cosmo right now. But definitely wanted to get that checked out to make sure she doesn't have any, like, mites or anything. I have been checking daily, and I haven't seen any signs of them. And it hasn't gotten any worse, but you never know. But she's, eating well, drinking well. Her weight's staying pretty good. She's active. Generally, everything's pretty nice. And I've just got her on top of, well, actually, a lot of layers. So, the first layer is actually just if I can get to it, a black heavy-duty trash bag. Then I've got a fleece on top of that. And then I've got these mats that were in the clearance section at Walmart for like $1.50, which is really good for a mat. And I've got a bunch of those, and I've got a yoga mat for gripping. So she's got a whole bunch of different surfaces to walk on, and, that help keep my floor clean-ish. Thankfully, I'm not too worried about her, though. So she actually gets to come out every evening and spend time on this floor, which I keep relatively clear for her. Hide my mess under there. Oh, the chaos. But yeah, so it's not... I also have under here blocked off because she goes under there and I don't want her in there just because I don't know what she's doing. I can't watch her. But yeah, so that's Cinder. Nothing too crazy is happening with her, but she's a lovely bun to have around. I really like her personality, and I'm trying my best to be patient because I'm very, very excited to introduce her and Cosmo. It's almost been 2 weeks now since I got her. It'll be 2 weeks. I guess it's not almost. It's more like a week and a half. By Monday. Today is Friday. By Monday it will have been 2 weeks. Well, she'll have been here for 2 weeks, but since Cosmo's surgery, and I have to wait 4 weeks in order to actually introduce them, so I've still got at least 2.5 weeks left. And here's the mouse closet. It's really boring and kind of lame looking right now. And the floor's kind of dirty because I haven't vacuumed it yet. I just barely got done cleaning up one of the cages. My cage cleaning schedule has really changed. I used to do everything at once on one day, and I kind of split it where I do all of the male rack one day, and then I'll do all the female rack another day. And then throughout the week, I'll like spot clean some of the cages more than others, depending on how many mice are in it or what it's used for. So, you know, I've just kind of let it become more organic. It helps, honestly, to have a lot less mice. I used to have a second connection of this larger rack, and I had mice to fill it up, and it was kind of exhausting. So, yeah, I definitely prefer this new system. Just zoom out a little bit so you can see. I've got an air filter up there. This is my treatment that I've been using for mites because I had a little bit of a mite problem. I haven't seen any mites in the last couple weeks. I still treated last week when I did mouse cages. And I think I might still treat this next week. But I think the mice are just as tired of it as I am. So I use permethrin spray diluted with water. And then I also line the bottom of the cages with diatomaceous earth, food grade diatomaceous earth specifically. And then I also, and you can see I basically sprayed everything in here and put diatomaceous earth everywhere. I even put diatomaceous earth in the bedding and in the food because I just didn't want to deal with that crap. Yeah, it's not the best. And then, of course, my mom's storage right there. And then I've got some plants up here. This little guy right here is not doing well. He does not like this pot or this environment, so if I get the time, I'll repot him, but, you know, I've got a lot going on. I've got some of the terracotta pots, though, which this is a peperomia, and they definitely prefer that, at least from what I've researched. I'm not experienced with peperomias at all. The only plants that I have any, like, semi-decent experience with is like, pothos and vining plants. And even then, I am a novice at best. But I'll try a terracotta for that one eventually. And then this one is another peperomia. This is an obtusifolia. It's doing about as good as it was when it got here. I've let it dry out completely. It prefers this pot. This is what it came in. And it seems to be I switched that one into a pot probably too fast. And it's probably too big also, honestly. This is just a bunch of starts that I decided I was just going to try doing straight into soil. And I mean, it's not dead yet, so yay! This is another one that I started straight into soil. It's doing pretty good. Just about as good as it did when I put it in, but it looks like it's got a single new leaf right there. It's also like winter, so I don't expect a lot. And then here's some more pothos that I just dumped in a thing of water and hoped for the best with, and they haven't died yet, so that's good. This is a succulent that I found outside in the cold at Walmart in their garden section before they closed it down, and I was like, why not? I might kill it, but I'll try. Some more, I think these are silver blue pothos? And then whatever this is, I don't even know, bro. All I know is these are vining plants. I didn't even buy these. I just got cuttings from a friend and called it good. Then I found this one for really cheap at a pet store, and I just thought it was really cute, so I got it. And it actually is, like, growing. But it seems like it's actually, like, a slightly tougher plant. It likes to stay constantly moist. And so I've just kept it, like, lightly damp, basically. I've just kind of been bottom watering it, and it seems to like it. Like, it's doing good. I've had it for, like, a month now, and it's pretty happy. And then I've got this little pot back here that's also just a bunch of starts that I tried starting straight in soil. And some of them are a little sad, so I moved a couple to water. But the rest of them seem to be doing okay. They definitely seem to have a harder time when you start them straight in soil. Well, at least in my experience so far. Harder time, straight in soil. Kind of weird. Oh, and then this is like supposed to be a light that helps people who get sad in winter feel better, but I don't have any plant lights yet. I just have that really sad window that doesn't let in that much light because it's really gross. And these guys are, like, fine, but I think they'd appreciate. I also have this. It's a reptile lamp, but I don't have any reptiles right now. It's just a UV light. And, I mean, I figured it probably wouldn't hurt them to have it, so I just put it on a day-night timer for them to have a little bit of that light every day. So we'll see how that does for them. And then I just turn this thing on for a couple hours every day to give them a little bit of supplemental brightness. Because it's pretty bright. Like, I don't know if it'll I don't even know how this thing works. It's, like, so weird. It turns on sometimes and then doesn't turn on other times. Yeah, I don't even know. Oh, well, it's Oh, it's on the day-night timer, so it's probably like off right now. I don't even, if it even would turn on. You're just chowing down on that rabbit pellet, aren't you? Oh, I didn't even show you mice. I should probably show you some mice. I'm scatterbrained. What can I say? This is my super old. So all these ladies are like ancient. They're all over a year old, year plus. They're all getting really old and achy. Have their fair share of problems. This lady, I don't know what the flip is going on with her. So there's this line of mice that I got from a breeder, like all the way down in Pennsylvania, that are generally pretty great, but they're more show type mice, and for some reason all the old ladies are the ones that get kind of sick, had this thing where like feet curled inwards as they got older. I don't know what caused it, but yeah, so she doesn't really have much use of her paws. She'll still walk around on them and stand up and get drinks, and she's still like bright and sassy and positive and stuff. Like she can move just fine, but her feet are curled in. Then these old ladies, they're still sassy, but you can definitely tell they're old. They're starting to just get hunched and look kind of like, they look like old ladies, basically. Where'd y'all go? Y'all wanting my attention, then I turn to give it to you and you run away? There she is. You can see what I'm talking about, though. See, doesn't she look kind of old? She looks old. Yeah, you're an old lady. So I've only got 3 of those right now, who are like old, and then I've got some medium olds. And the medium olds are in here. This girl's actually like older than all of them, but that was like my retirement home, like sad old ladies who look like they're gonna die in the next like few months. These ladies are my old ladies who are like still kind of kicking it. This girl's almost 2. She's a dominant hairless, and she's had like some of the fewest problems and the most sass out of any of the mice that I've had. I wish I had more babies from her, but I don't really like have any. I sold off most of her boys, and all of her litters only had like 3 babies. That's one reason I stopped breeding from that line, because they had very few babies. But the babies they did have, man, like, she's healthy. You'd think hairless mice would be less healthy, but no, she's a boss. And then we've got this sassy lady, and she's doing pretty good. That little lady who's over a year old, she's starting to look a little old, a little more tired and sleepy, but not bad. She's not that old, though. She's like 7-8 months. Yeah, so you're not bad. But she's starting to look just slightly haggard. Yeah, and it's getting close to the day that I need to clean these guys' cage. It's not horrendous, but you can see the bedding's getting kind of bad. And, of course, the top of their hides where they hang out are getting nasty. So, yeah, we'll have to fix that up. And then right above them, we have a mama with a litter that I'm going to be separating out in, like, the next few days. I just fed everybody, so that's why. But you can see all the babies have gotten older. Hey guys, can I say hi? The babies are still a little bit shy, but they're not bad. Yeah. They all go through like the shy phase, you know? But I train all my mice, not even trained, but like I hold all my mice so confidently that they just kind of get used to it over time. And then they're just kind of chill. And it takes a little bit, but you know, if you breed your mice well enough, then eventually you'll just get personalities that are kind of just automatically good. A lot of the time, you know, all you have to do is hold them a few times and give them a little bit of rough, like, not rough, but you know, just give them a gentle manhandling. Nothing that's actually harmful, but something that might be a little bit surprising like this. And then they just kind of get used to it, and then they're like, oh, I didn't die. I guess I'm fine. You know, some mice, if you manhandle them, they'll always be panicked, but with these guys, they get comforted pretty fast once they realize, oh, I'm not in danger. This doesn't mean I'm gonna die. Okay, I guess it's cool. So, you know, like, that mouse, I haven't held him a ton, but he's pretty chill with me doing it. There are 1 or 2 mice in here that I'm a little bit iffy on. The black one seems to be more timid than some of the other ones. And so does the male that looks like this. I think this might be the female. Yeah, this is the female. So she's not bad. She's pretty good. And she's enjoyable to hold. She doesn't enjoy cuddles, but I mean, most females don't. I've just been starting to try to breed for it. But she's pretty good. Like, see that? Look at that. Are you pretty good? Yeah, you handle the shake-up test pretty well. And then see how when I put my hand down, they don't immediately go launching off like crazed, I don't know, desperate people. They're just kind of like, yeah, I guess I'll get off. But here, you can see with this guy, he jumps away from my hand really quickly. So it's kind of like an iffy sign. But I've got a few males in here that are like really sweet and actually enjoyed my pets the other day. So not a bad litter. And this is the mom's second litter. She's a slightly shyer female. But I paired her up with a really sweet mellow male in hopes of balancing out the personality, because she's really healthy and sturdy, and she feels really strong. She has good lactation. Just wanted to mix in a little bit of that temperament. But she gave me all boys and one girl. Thanks a lot. But, you know, whatever. She did good on the litter that she did produce. And then down here is the first generation of new babies, because I started breeding again. Hello. So we've got some babies that are very sweet in here, and some that are kind of medium. This girl's kind of medium, but she's very healthy. The one that just ran that way. And what I do is I always keep some mice that are like a little, like super friendly, but maybe don't have all the characteristics I want. But if I get like a really robust, healthy mouse, even if they're slightly anxious, I'll still keep them. Because one of the biggest issues with mice that you have is when you focus only on one thing and improving one thing, you're going to get a mouse that is not well-rounded. You're going to get a mouse that's really sweet, but dies within 8 months. Or if you focus on health, you're going to get some really robust, healthy mice, which is great if you're doing like feeder breeding, but they're going to be super anxious and freak out, you know. So it's good to kind of balance out what you select for, and that's kind of what I've done. So all these babies are like, I've got a mix of like really sweet ones that I can just squish and wiggle around and even give pets like this. Like, she's so sweet. She doesn't even mind this too much. She's a little bit weirded out, but she's not freaked out or anything. She's just kind of like, oh, this is weird. This is kind of not where I want to be, but she's not panicking, you know. She's even mildly curious. And that's kind of what I like to see is I haven't spent a lot of time or created a super close bond with her because she might be going home to somebody else. But in spite of that, she's not freaking out. She's not super scared. She's not having a terrible time interacting with me. She's not in a rush to run away from my existence. You know, she's willing to take her time, figure stuff out. You know, maybe explore a little bit, check me out. This little girl's being a turd. Don't do that, hon. And that's kind of what I go for, is a mouse that lets you manhandle it and doesn't get super scared about it, even if it's not their favorite. And that's why I do manhandle them a little bit, you know, is because I want to make sure that they're mice that are going to be solid with that and aren't going to hate me for it. And extra points if they come back out after I put them down for manhandling them to get a closer look. And I've only got 4 girls in here. I'm going to be selling off at least a few of these guys. I'm going to be keeping this less friendly one, who's really healthy for breeding, because one thing I've noticed sometimes is that when I breed for the super friendly mice, it's sometimes easy to get like really, like, I don't know, mice that aren't as dense feeling. You can see that she's less friendly. See how she's actively trying to get away from me when I haven't put her down? Excuse me, hon. Sorry about that. But she's not bad. You know, she'll still deal with my manhandling and turning directions. She's just actually somewhat uncomfortable and actively like, okay, get me down. I'm willing to dig through your hands to do it. But she feels very solid in my hands, very firm, very steady, very robust. I can kind of like feel when a mouse is like a solid, good mouse that's like dependable as far as health goes. And some other mice, I'm just like, you're so sweet, but you're risky. One of those mice is in here. She's the sweetest thing. Probably one of the sweetest female mice I've ever bred. It's kind of insane. But, oh, it's not this one. Sorry, this girl's actually a robust one, too. She's slightly sassy. She's very confident and curious, though, so I don't mind her sass quite too much. And I paired her up with one of the sweetest males I've ever bred. He's just like a melty little marshmallow. He's an angel. Look at him. Yeah, look at him. He's just happy to just sit there. Yeah, you're just happy to sit there. Yeah, look at you, Squish. And he loves pets. He adores them. So he's just a pleasant, sweet little guy. He's just like, oh, hi, what's up? What can I do for you? And I paired him up with this slightly more sassy, robust, very strong girl, because he's very petite. He's a very small gentleman, so she's not that much bigger, but she has more density to her. More like, yeah, I'm here. So I went ahead and gave him somebody who hopefully complements his characteristics, gets some more pep and sass into his babies, but also get some sweetness mixed in there. Because my personal favorite mouse personality is not necessarily marshmallow melty or anxious. I like a confident mouse. A confident mouse is my favorite mouse. I like a mouse that will walk right up to you and is like, hey, what's up? And not necessarily a mouse that's all like you're their favorite thing. I want a mouse that's able to be like, no, I don't want to hang out with you. But it's not because they're scared of you, it's just because they don't want to, you know? I like a mouse that knows what they want and is confident and just doesn't have that much fear about it. But I'm fine if they have like a moment where they're like, nah, don't hold me, you know? We're not breeding to get rid of personality and their desires. We're breeding to make it so that they're comfortable and happy to be around us, and so that we can be comfortable and happy around them too. And I feel like a confident mouse is a mouse that can succeed in an environment where they're around humans and scary things all the time. But this lady, she is just the sweetest thing. You can't tell super well because of the way I'm holding her, but if I'm holding her in the right circumstance and it's not in the middle of the night when they're going crazy and I just pick her up, she just like literally melts, and she actually actively enjoys cuddles, which is not common for females. She's also so soft. She's such a soft mouse. Like, I wish you could feel her. She's so soft. But I paired her up with a slightly more anxious, but he's a bit more anxious, but he's also very social and curious. Like, he loves to explore and figure out what's going on, and he's high energy. And he's also a pretty solid feeling mouse, and she feels very delicate. So I'm hoping that he adds some pep to the step of her babies, and I'm hoping she helps to add some just calm tranquility to his slightly more anxious vibes. Also, I was curious to see what her solid black would add to his insanity. I should say my mice are kind of insane right now. I don't even know what's happening genetic-wise. I've got some speculation going on with some people in the mouse community, but it's just whack. This boy is probably my oldest mouse. He is approaching 2 right now. Okay, he's my second oldest mouse. But I think it might be like 4 months till he's 2. Maybe. Let's see. November, December, January, February. Let's see. December, January, February, March. Yeah, so 4 months till he is 2. I hope he makes it. He's still looking pretty good, as you can see. No obvious signs of illness. He's just a hunk of love. He's kind of feeling a little scraggly. Like, he's not as well kempt as he used to be such a soft... Well, he's still very soft, but he used to be, like, smooth. Now he's got a little bit of haggardness. He's an Angora, so... but he's still got a lot of sass. He loves the sunflower seeds. If he was a human, he'd probably be like, sunflower seeds are the secret to my longevity. He adores those things. He also adores the daily cuddle. So I come through here every day. And for all of my males who are like my studs, you know, I give him a daily cuddle. This boy's not as old as him, but he's looking older already. He's also fatter. Bro, you're fat. You're a chonky man. Yeah, look at you. He's such a sweet boy, though. So, like, the Siamese boy, he's a, like, crazy guy. This guy's mellow. He's just a hunk. Hunk of burning love. The ladies would sometimes get overwhelmed with the Siamese guy, but this guy, he's just such a sweetie. Yeah, you're such a sweetie. Such a good boy. Yeah. As you can see, used to manhandling at this point. At some point, they don't even, like, care anymore. Do you want a seed? Yeah, there you go. And in case you're wondering why my cages are so sparse right now, it's because of the mite treatment. You know, it's just easier to keep things treated, look out for things, when I don't have to worry about wheels and stuff. But normally I have wheels in all of the male cages, and female cages, as long as there are no babies or anybody that's going to get injured. Like, I probably wouldn't put a wheel in here. These guys don't do anything besides sleep all day. Maybe a chew toy would be good for them. But most of my cages, I do a wheel. I do at least 2 hides in the male cages, along with the wheel, and then I usually put in, like, wood chews on the top. Like, I'll get those weird, like, clip thingies that allow you to, like, clip on new toys, and I'll just, either that or just something homemade, because, you know, cardboard's great. These guys love cardboard. And I'm thinking of trying out giving them chews, like I do for the rabbits, but anyways, this is getting pretty long, but those are all my room animals. If you really want to see more, I've got a couple more things I can show you. But feel free to head out whenever you want. This is a plant that I'm actually excited for. I actually really like both of these plants. This is an inch plant, also called a wandering dude, a few other things. This one, I'm pretty sure that it is called a Charlie. Creeping Charlie? Either that or a Swedish ivy, even though it's not an ivy. It's in the mint family. I just felt the stem to make sure it's a square stem, so yeah, pretty sure it's in the mint family. It's so pretty. I love that thing. And then this is a plant that I've probably had the longest out of all my plants, and it's just, I don't even do anything, and it's just, it won't stop. It's winter. It just barely grew this new leaf right here on the top, and now it's growing another one, and I just cut, like, so many starts from this, because it was insane. It was everywhere. And I'm pretty sure I cut this thing down too, and it just freaking keeps going. I just kind of wanted to slow down, but it's happy. It's just in soil that's a mix of my soils I used to use in my bioactive terrariums. It like has random. My cats sit in this thing. They like to sit here. There's some rabbit poo in there for fertilizer, but I forget about it for a month sometimes, and I'll come back and water it, and it actually seems to prefer that, because this pot, it's a self-watering pot, and it takes a hot minute for it to dry out, so maybe it's happier with me not watering it as often. I don't know. And then in my window, I did a bad, and I left my Silverian. I don't know if it's a Silverian. From what I read, there are like a few varieties of this thing, and I didn't bother to figure out exactly which one. Sorry. I probably should have, but this poor thing, it was so pretty, and it had a whole bunch of new leaves that were coming up, and then I freaking left it out while my rabbit was free roaming, and I turned my back for a second. She freaking chewed all. I was so frustrated and nervous that she was gonna like go through something, but it's been like 4 days now, and she's fine. Little turd. I'm glad she's fine. That was the main thing. The plant will bounce back probably. I mean, it's still alive, and it's been a little bit. Like, I'm kind of impressed, honestly, but I was sad. It was so pretty. I love this plant. I love it. It's so good. This is another one that I thought was a Charlie or Swedish Ivy, but I don't know if it is, because the stems aren't square. They're round. But, I mean, it has the same growth pattern, same leaf shape. And, I mean, honestly, this looks more mint-like than the other one. I don't even know. This one looks more like succulent vibe leaves, but who even knows? And this is just Pearls and Jade pothos that I got from Home Depot. She also got to this one. So now everything's in the window because she can't reach it here. But it's kind of drafty. So I hope they don't die. We'll see. And then I have Chiflera? I don't know. Fancy people say it fancy ways on the internet. It's pretty dry right now, but it's like... it's doing pretty good, I guess. I'm just going to leave in this pot for now, even though it's getting pretty big, because, you know, the roots haven't come out the bottom yet, so I figure it's probably fine, and it looks kind of happy, so I'm just going to keep wiping off the leaves and watering it when it gets dry, calling it good. And I read somewhere that these plants are more okay. Do not chew on my shoelaces. Bad manners. Bad manners, hon. I'm trying to teach this little lady good manners. Yeah, I'm trying to teach you good manners. Yeah, you gotta learn to be a good bun. You already are a good bun, but I gotta teach you how to be a sociable bun. Bun who is allowed to interact with humanity. Because right now you're just a menace. You eat things you're not supposed to. You almost cause yourself to die. You chew on people when you're grumpy. Yeah, that's not okay. Oh, yeah, what did I say about manners? Okay, anyways, but in case you're wondering I don't know if I talked about any of the training I'm doing with this girl. When I say training, I don't mean like anything insane. You know, it's not like, I don't know, I feel like people make training so, like, crazy sounding and complicated, but, sorry, I'm just trying to find a place to sit down. I made this place tight. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'm sorry, hun. I'm sitting on all your toys. Okay, now I'm done with her, though. But, for me, what training means with animals is basically just interacting with them in a way that they learn your language and you learn theirs. And then you can kind of communicate through that language you create. And they can learn kind of what the natural consequences for their actions are. And they learn what to do to get certain stuff that they want. You learn what their needs are. And then instead of just saying no whenever they do something naughty, you figure out what need they're trying to give. And you find a way to do an Indiana Jones switch, you know, replace that one thing that they're not supposed to do with another thing. That's kind of the point of, like, cat scratchers, you know. Cat scratch furniture, you put that near where the furniture is. Because cat scratching usually means that they want to mark their territory somewhere that they think is valuable. So if the furniture is valuable to them, you just put a cat scratcher near the furniture, and then they feel like they have a safe spot next to the furniture. They have a way to mark it. And cats usually like cat scratchers. So, you know, that teaches them the language of cat scratcher equals safe to scratch. Furniture equals not ideal. Hello, baby. What's up? And you know, it's not about making the animal do what you want. It's about learning, as I said, learning each other's language. Because you've got a lot to learn too. Oh my gosh, hon. You've got a lot to learn too when it comes to the language of your animals and learning how to communicate your needs to them as well and figuring out what they need. You know, training is a both ways thing. So for her, what I'm doing right now is I'm just noticing what kind of bad behaviors or naughty behaviors that I'm noticing, things I don't want her to do. And I'm also noticing things that I do that cause her anxiety, and I'm adjusting those things. So, for example, she was getting out of the cage, and what that did was it gave me a lack of control over her environment. So her association with me was all about me taking her, putting her back in the cage area, and closing it up again. That's not ideal. You know, that makes me a negative association in her life, and it reduces my ability to have positive interactions, because suddenly I'm not the person who takes her out. She's the one who gets herself out. I'm the one who puts her back in. That's not great. So what I've done is I've made it so one, she can't get out of the cage with this stuff, which looks weird, but it works. And the second step is if she wants out of the cage, I don't let her walk out of the cage on her own. I pick her up and I actually take her out and I put her down on the floor. And that creates a positive association with being picked up because she loves free time. She loves running around my room and hanging out with me. So I create that association of, okay, me picking you up equals joy. It equals good things. You being near me is awesome. It means freedom. And when I want her to go away, what I do is I actually fill up her bowl of tasty treats, or I give her a fruit or veggie that she really likes, and I just make her cage really interesting. Or even I'll walk in here, and then I'll just close up the cage after her. So now she's the one who chooses to go back in the cage. The cage is no longer a zone where she's being forced out of something that she didn't want. It is now a positive space where she chose to do this thing that she apparently wants, that has good stuff. So now she likes her cage because it's her zone where happy stuff happens. She likes me because I'm her where I get to leave stuff happens. Oh, you using the litter box? Thank you. That's lovely. She's so good at her manners when it comes to litter box too. I hardly had to do anything for that. And so that's kind of one of the examples of like what I mean by training. Is I learned her language. I saw her getting frustrated when I put her away, and I saw the fact that she was creating that negative association. So I made sure that I was in control of the situation, and then I could create the associations I want. I want her to think I'm awesome and cool, and all of the fun things happen when she's with me. And I want her to think about her cage, which is an important space for her to be in for her safety when I'm not home. Because, we've got cats. We've got stuff that she could chew on she's not supposed to. The plants, for example. I'll turn my back for 1 second. There are a lot of dangers. So she needs to be able to think the cage is good. And another association, we'll see if she does the naughty here, is chewing. Baby rabbits and rabbits in general use their teeth to explore their environment and to figure stuff out and to be like, oh, hey, what's this? What's going on? What does it taste like? Can I eat it? Will it respond when I bite it the way I want it to? And my goal as an owner is to not respond in a way that encourages her biting. So in order to do that, I gotta know why she's biting. And, from what I'm able to observe and what I know, usually when she's biting for something, specifically me, it's usually one, because she's curious about something. Maybe I have like a lotion or I just ate a food that's tasty, and she wants to see if she can eat it off of me, which usually doesn't work. 2, and that's also the shoelaces, she chews on them because they look cool. 2, she wants my attention, so she's like, hey, pay attention, I'm gonna bite your shoe so you look at me. 3, it's because she wants me to move, or I'm doing something annoying and she wants me to get out of the way or go away or stop grabbing her or touching her in a certain way. And all those behaviors are not ideal, but all of them represent like things that she needs or wants, and biting is the way of communicating that she has chosen to let me know those things. So my job is to teach her a new language that she can use that's effective. So I'm replacing her biting with something else, or nipping, I guess, because she's never drawn blood or anything. But my job as the owner and the caretaker is to replace the biting with something else that she can use to communicate to me. So the first step in doing that when you're training an animal, and this applies, like I do it with my cats, I do it with my mice, basically anything that has kind of a brain and a relatively social-ish ish, because even non-social species this works with, anything that has a brain and recognizes cues of if this happens, then this happens, you can kind of do this thing where you replace the language that they're using with something else, and that gives them a different option to get what they want in a healthier way. So what I'll do is if she nibbles at my clothes because she thinks they're interesting, I usually will let out like a eep or some other sound that lets her know that, oh, that hurt, that wasn't fun, because rabbits don't want to hurt you. That's not their goal. You know, that was never one of the goals I stated. Her goal was get me out of the way, find something interesting and tasty, or get my attention. So by going eep, I let her know, oh, the reaction you got from me was pain, and, you know, if she wanted my attention, I might move away. If she wanted to try something, then I block off the thing that she was trying to try, and maybe I, refocus the attention on something else. And then, if she does it to make me stop doing something, I don't stop doing that thing. And instead, I just make it so she cannot necessarily get to me as far as her teeth goes, and I let out the eep so she knows the response you got from that was me being in pain, but nothing else changed. And then, in other situations, when we're just interacting, I make sure that I give her other cues. Like, oh, you want treats? Well, let me do some tricks with you. If you do spin, then I give you a tasty treat. Oh, you want to chew on something? Here. I noticed that you were getting a little bit chewy. I'm going to give you this toy instead. Chew on that. I'll give her stuff for different cues. And she learns pretty quickly, oh, I want attention from Brooke. All I have to do is walk up to her and kind of bend my hand down or forward, and Brooke gives me attention when I stand up on my hind legs. So she doesn't have to chew on my legs to get my attention. She just has to stand up. And of course, that requires me to be proactive and watch her so I can get her cues that aren't biting. But generally speaking, it works pretty well. And I have noticed a reduction in nibbling behavior on me, at least. Yeah, I have. She still does it, but she's a little bit more, hesitant about it, pausing and actually thinking, oh, wait, that didn't work last time. Maybe let's try something else. But yeah, so basically, one thing to always keep in mind is animals, when they misbehave, I bet this applies to people too. When there's misbehaviors happening, it's not because they're trying to be naughty. Oh my goodness, are you trying to eat my necklace? That's on me. You cannot eat stuff that's on me, hon. As an example. You see, I just gave her a lot of stimulation and other things besides my necklace, and it got her to avoid it. But most of the time when things are misbehaving, it's not because they're trying to be naughty. It's not because they're trying to be turds. It's just because they're trying to get a need, and the only way they know to meet that need is to do that naughty thing. And that's all there is to it. So you just give them a different option that works, and then they're like, okay, the biting, the nipping, the breaking stuff, the being sassy didn't work, but this works. This gets me what I need or want effectively and safely. I'm just going to keep doing that. So, that's what I do. And you notice she had fun throwing that thing around instead of chewing on my shoelace. And she just put her paws up on my leg and looked at me for attention. And she's got food in her bowl, stuff that's tasty to chew on, and I give her treats regularly so she knows when she can expect that. She's got everything she needs through different language. And it's still a work in progress. She'll get there, though. And pretty soon we'll be speaking the same language, and we'll be able to vibe. But I think I won't show the other animals right now. Maybe that'll be a part 2. This is already 40 minutes long. Thanks for sticking through it if you did, but that's kind of where things are right now. Maybe I'll make some shorter videos about specifically just socialization and just mice, because bunching it all together is kind of weird, but if I'm anything, it's a rambler. Anyways, that's a cute bun for you. Have a good rest of your day. Ta-ta for now.